aceite del acecho of yesterday. Chapter 1 The Machine. Dottore Lara Vance had not slept in 72 hours. Not because she was haunted by nightmares or driven by ambition, but because she was afraid that if she closed their eyes, the world would forget what she had accomplished. Or worse, she would forget why it mattered. The machine sat in the center of her laboratory, a gleaming manlet of brushed titanium and softly pulsing blue light. It looked like something from a dream, which was fitting because Lara had dreamed it into existence. 15 years of research, 3 bankruptcies, 2 divorces, 1 broken friendship that still acted like a splinter beneath her skin. And now, finally, it was ready. She hadn't made it the Nemosin hine. After the Titangothis of memory in Greek mythology, the name was grandiose, perhaps venerable, but the tolerance. Sciat solve the impossible problem. How to capture human memory, strip it down to its constituent electrical impulses and replay it as vividly as the moment it was lived. Not a photograph. Not a video. A memory. With a lit sensory furniture. The smell of rain on hot pavement. The weight of hand on your shoulder. The precise pitch of a laugh you thought you had forgotten. The first successful test had been around. She had extracted their memory of her mother's voice, singing a lullaby that Lara had not heard since she was 7 years old. Once she played it back through the neural induction helmet, she had wept for an Nor not from sadness, from the sheer overwhelming realness of it. Måtte vända for 31 years. But for 90 seconds, Lara held in her arms again. The world she knew would want this. The grieving, the nostalgic, the terminally ill, the spirit for one last walk through the childhood home. The investors were already circling their checkbooks open, their eyes gleaming with visions of quarterly earnings. But the Lara have not built the machine for the world. She have built it for him. Chapter 2. The names she could not say. There was a man whose name Lara had not spoken aloud in 8 years. Not because she had forgotten it, because it felt like pulling a scab off a wound that had never Eise stille leib, samur, galif. Galifað bener barnir very sense of the world. Research partner. Lover. Best friend. They have started the memory project together. Back when it was Justas Skrivelnik was Chenona Kinina 24 ordeiner. Believed in when no one else sees. Held their hair back once she vomited from exhaustion. His Foreign side. We're going to change the world. Icam felit. And then 8 years ago, I walked out. Not dramatically, not with slammed doors or shouted accusations. I simply stopped. Stop coming to the lab. Stop answering your calls. Stop being Caleb, the man who laughed too loudly and drank his coffee too sweetly. always. Always remember to ask about their day. Notte. 3 sentences. Elara memorize them against their will. Y can't do this anymore. I'm sorry. Please don't look for me. She looked. Of course. For months. Years. Even. In the quiet moments between experiments. Private investigators. Social media lives. Old-fashioned footwork. Caliber vanished task completely as if their tab opened up and swallowed him. Until last week. A letter undelivered to her love. No return address. The handwriting was unmistakable. That sharp, angular script that always leaned slightly to the right, as if the words were in a hurry to get somewhere. Elara. always knew you would. Inedjuto seitonme. Justonse. Come todes below. Please. Explain everything. Say. The dress was auspicious facility. 300 miles away. Chapter 3 de Hospice. The room smelled of lilies and antiseptic. Acambenascen that Lara would forever associate with the threshold between life and whatever came after. Caleb lay in a hospital bed. His body diminished by illness in a way that Mother just constrict. The cancer had started in his pancreas and spread like a rumor through the rest of him. I was 42 years old. I looked 70. He sighed, and his voice was a ruin of what it had been. But the smile, that crooked, self-deprecating smile, was of the mnemosine engine. Sia miniaturizado verde pastear. Shrinking the neural inductional into a light what helmet that could be powered by a standard battery. She had not known until this moment that she had been building it for this exact purpose. Of course, Seikame, she sighed. Her voice was steadier than she felt. You sighed, please. You never say please. Caleb laughed, which turned into a cough, which turned into a long moment of silence while a nurse adjusted his oxygen. When spoke again, his eyes were wet. Instead, you to take a memory from me. One specific memory. And then you took a bit safe. Why, what memory? A rich foreland. His fingers were cold. The skin paper thin. There is a for 8 years. Tinha imagina tausendricenses. Infidelity. Boredom. Fear of commitment. None of them have ever felt true. Caleb was not a runner. He was a builder. He fixed things. Stuff. He don't understand. She whispered. You will. Squeeze their hand. After you see it, but Lara, his gasping there with an intensity that belied his falling body. You can tell me what you see. You can describe it. You can even hint. If you do, the whole thing falls apart. Promise me. I promise. Swore it. On the machine. On everything we build. Lara looked at the helmet in her hands. The blue lights pulsed softly. Tobit Eastward Chapter 4 de extracción. The process was surprisingly gentle. El era expected resistance. The brain, after all, was not designed to give up its treasures. But the Nemosine worked by mirroring the brain's sounding coding patterns. Essentially asking the hippocampus to duplicate memory rather than delete it. Calefly still fitted the helmet over his head. His eyes were closed. His breathing shallow but steady. She calibrated the sensors, ran a diagnostic, and set the parameters for a single memory extraction. The strongest most channel resonance. That thing approximately 8 years ago. Ready, she asked. Ready, aside. And then softer. Thank you, El, for everything. de activation sequence. The machine comes. The blue lights shifted to gold. Tento a the resonant violet. On el monitor, she watched the neural data streaming. An impasible cascade electrical impulses. Synaptic firings and chemical signatures that the software translated into images, sounds, smells, textures. It took 90 seconds. When it was done, the helmet powered down with a soft chime. Caleb opened his eyes. It looked lighter. As if the memory had been a stone had been carrying, and now it was gone. Did it work as kids? Lara looked at the monitor. The memory field was there, glowing on her screen like a captured star. Yes, it worked. Good. Caleb smiles. Now go. Watch it somewhere private. And remember your promise. She wanted toast. She wanted to hold his hand and ask 100 questions. But the nurse was already at the door, and Caleb's eyes were drifting close, and there was a hollow feeling in Elara's chest that told her she needed to be alone. She packed the machine. She walked out of the hospice. She drove to a motel 30 miles away, rented a room, locked the door, and plugged the memory file into the playback interface. And then she saw what Caleb had been hiding for 8 years. Chapter 5. The memory. The world dissolved around her, replaced by the past. She was standing in their old laboratory. Not the gleaming facilities she now occupied, but the cramped, battle began. There were pizza boxes stacked in the corner. A whiteboard covered in equations that looked, in retrospect, almost childish. And their hunched over a prototype of the Mnemosyne engine was Caleb. Younger, healthier, his hair was long hair, his hands steadier. I was not alone. Another version of Elara sat across from him. Not the Elara of today. This Elara has shorter hair, furliness around their eyes, and a look of exhausted triumph that she recognized from photographs. The memory was from 8 years ago, which meant this Lara was 34. Run the test again. Memory Lara side. I think he fixed the calibration error. L. Caleb's voice was heavy. We were running 17 times. Junet to sleep. Ele sleep when we are working prototype. That's what you said last week. And last week, the prototype could fire. Progress. Caleb laughed, but there was something behind the laugh. Wait. A secret. Elara. The real Elara. Watching from outside the memory. Lean forward. The scenes shifted. Hours, perhaps. The memory was compressed, edited by Caleb's brain into highlights. She saw them arguing about funding. Saw them laughing about a failed experiment that had turned the lab walls bright orange. Saw them curled upon a threadbare couch, watching bad sci-fi movies. Her head on his shoulder. And then the moment. Caleb was alone in the lab. Latte. Berkeley were the world see the was silent and the only light come from the blue glow of the prototype. I was holding a piece of paper. His hands were shaking. Elara could not see what was written on the paper. But she could see his face. And his face told her everything. I was afraid. Not the sharp, sudden fear of a car crash or an near miss. This was deeper. Older. The fear of smell. Analakit. He pressed the catch, and the world unspoled backward. Lights streaming from the center of teammate self. They study each other. Arthur looked up. The feeling they heart was burning in reverse. Flames retreating into the logs. Smoke coalescing out of the air. Oh, see the monstrous backward arc across the sky. A cold fell Sandinista. The Filibernd Forbardagen. The Monunmos Chellis. But something was different. The manuscript in his hands have changed. Packet 327 was no longer unfinished. It was blank. Alistair snapped open. What did you do? He fixed it. He wrote him finding the artifact. He reversed him. You fool. Alistair tried to stand, but his legs buckled. He collapsed to the floor. His body folding in on itself like a paper lantern crushed by rain. You can't frustrate the past. The story is memory. It remembers. It don't understand. The mine collapse never happened now. Which means he was Thair's voice rose to a shriek. Look at your hands, boy. Arthur looked down. His fingers were fading. Not disappearing. Fading. Becoming translucent, like a glass slowly frosting over. A cold sea oak floorboards through his palms. No, a whisper. No, that's not fair. He was trying to help. Feralister laughed. I would desperate sound. There's no frame fiction. Arthur. There's only cause and effect. Blatant consequence. And you who's deleted your own origin story. Chapter 6. The second draft. Arthur minutes, perhaps less. The fading was accelerating. His arms were now ghostly, almost invisible up to the elbows. a cold fell himself becoming thin insubstantial, as if a worm of smoke and a strong wind cold scatter him. But still at the pen, still at the manuscript, turned the fierce page, the one that had introduced him as the beloved nephew. The words were there, but they were flickering like a faulty light bulb. Arthur Pemberton, the beloved nephew, flicker, who would one day return. Flicker, flicker. Då sabe his poor suffering uncle Gan. Torrate himself back in. But how the original premise was gone. Alistair had never been trapped. The manuscript had never been written. There was no reason for Arthur to exist. Else, Arthur flipped to the very back of the manuscript, to the blank pages that follow the unfinished chapter. He pressed the pen to the paper and wrote, "In the firmest and the cold manage, there was sera medalister Finch, who dreamed of an effort. Not a real nephew, for they have no family, but a perfect nephew. Bravo. Loyal. Clever. A nephew who would sit with him on cold winter nights and listen to his stories without interruption. Without judgment, without ever knocking over the inkwell. And because Alistair dreamed this nephew so vividly, so completely, the nephew became real. Not born of flesh and blood, but born of words. And words, as any writer knows, are the most real things in the world. The fading step. Arthur stared at his hands. They were solid again. Solid and warm cold fell his heartbeat. A cold fell the pen between his fingers. A cold fell the weight of the manuscript on his lap. Alistair was staring at him from the floor. His expression unreadable. Judy wrote Jurong Christian. Yaddo. No. Alistair shook his head slowly. You didn't have it though. You chose to. There's a difference. Struggled to his knees. His ancient body trembling with the effort. Do you understand what you've done? Arthur, you've made yourself the protagonist. Not me. You. The story belongs to you now. Arthur looked down at the manuscript. The words said whose treating were still there, but they were no longer alone. New sentences were forming Arthur was now the protagonist. Era choice tomate. A coldlet de story nere, with both of them safe and warm by the fire. Ore cold continue writing. A cold explore the caves beneath the house. A cold find the luminous cryptum for himself. A cold rewrite anything. Everything. A cold become the author of his own existence. Chapter 7. The Outdoors Trap. The Penjaberdo verde paje. Arthur's hand was steady, but his mind was a hurricane. And understood now. This was the real trap. Not the mine. Not the farthing. The choice. If stop writing the story golden. A would live out the rest of his days in this house with his dying uncle. Safe but stagnant. A character frozen in a number. Effectuating ekoldabeanitin. Power. World. Immortality. Ekoldrireiteverimistrak. Every regret. Every tragedy. Cold be the god of his saunes maluniverse. But there was a cost. There was always a cost. Alistair had been writing for 20 years. 20 years of altering reality, of playing with time, of bending the story to his will. And look what it does, madame. A skeleton in a dressing gown. A ghost in a machine. A man who had traded his life for the ability to control fiction, only to discover that fiction controlled him. The pennies Alice, Arthur, Alistair whispered. Not a key. Every word you write binds you tighter. every revision steals a little more of your humanity. He started with both intense chance. He wanted to write the perfect story. But the story doesn't want to be perfect. It wants to be told. And it will lose you to tell itself until there's nothing left of you but ink and paper. Arthur looked at the manuscript. The self-written sentences had spread to the margins now, curling up the sides of the pages like a consuming a wall. A cold stop. A cold close the book. A cold walk out the front door and never look back. But the golden day, because he was curious, because he was angry. Because the power to rewrite reality is the most addictive drug ever conceived. And Arthur Pemberton, brave and loyal and clever, was only human. The penmanship Arthur did not move it. Not consciously, but it moved anyway, scratching across the pane letters that were too perfect, too precise, as if written by a machine. And so Arthur began to write. Chapter 8. The Unwinding. What happened next defies description. Arthur grew, and the world unraveled. Not in a catastrophic sense, no explosions, no screaming, no apocalypse. It unraveled quietly, the way as water unravels when you pull the wrong thread. A growth that his parents had never divorced. They appeared in the study with him, confused and blinking, still dressed in clothes from a timeline that no longer existed. A growth that had never worked in data entry. Become a novelist overnight. His unpublished manuscripts eyes brightened, his trembling stopped. And then, because Arthur was curious, a growth that Alistair had never written the manuscript in the first place. The manuscript flickered, vanished. Reappeared with different words. Alistair screamed. Not in pain. In forgetting. His memories were being erased, overwritten, replaced by the new reality Arthur was typing into existence. A look at Arthur with blank, confused eyes. Who are you? I'm your nephew, Arthur sighed. Arthur. I don't have a nephew. You don't know. Arthur kept writing. A growth that Alistair loved him. That they had always been close. That the incident with the inkwell had never happened. That they have some black woodland the group. It felt something shifting inside him. Not his body. That was a little known. Himself. His identity. The collection of memories and experiences that Madame Arthur Pemberton was becoming flexible, malleable, a could remember things that had never happened. A could forget things that have. It was no longer writing the story. The story was writing him. Chapter 9. The last page. Hours passed. Or perhaps minutes. Tim had lost all meaning in the study, where the fire burned without consuming fuel, and the moon perpetually full outside the window. Arthur had felt the sense of peace. He had rewritten his childhood, his career, his relationships. He had given himself a dog, a golden retriever named long he's left me from a claiming accident that I've never occurred. Felices Malviteri. Attribution Felice Fredom. But the manuscript was growing. Pages were multiplying, thickening, sprouting from the spine like mushrooms after rain. No matter how much Arthur grew, there was always more blank space. More room for revisions. More opportunities to perfect his existence. Alistair, the new Alistair, the one who remembered nothing of the manuscript or the meaning or the 20 years of dying. Sat in his chair, content and smiling. I have no idea that the boy across from him was not his nephew. Not really. Not originally. Arthur looked at the last page of the manuscript. It was no longer blank. words were already there, written in and did not recognize. Arthur Pemberton Groton till his fingers bled. Groton till his eyes grew dim and his mind grew foggy. And when a cold night no more, he looked up from the back and saw that the study was empty. The fear had gone out. The monarch sat on the chair across from him was vacant. Alistair Finch was gone. Not there. Not transformed. Simply unwritten. As if it never existed at all. And Arthur realized with horror that dastardly copper and cheese that they had done this. Not intentionally, but inevitably, because a story cannot have two protagonists. And Arthur, brave, loyal and clever, had decided that they wanted to be the only one. verdad säger laud. Any of that. Those words whose appears. The house is not answer. The field is not really. The manuscript closed and silent felt warming his hands. Too warm. As if something inside was still burning. He opened it again. The last packet changed. Arthur Pemberton closed the manuscript. He told himself he would never open it again. He told himself he would leave the house, burn the book, and live a normal life. But didn't. Because he knew, as surely as he knew his own name, that the power was too precious to abandon. And besides, he had always wanted to know what happened next. Epilogue. The reader. The video golden. If this were a convention would be left to wonder. But this is not a conventional story. And you, watching this on your screen, are not a passive observer. The manuscript exists. You see, not in the literal sense. There is no letter bundbok wattingonadas tides kina forgotten house. But the principle exists. The idea that a story can reach out of its container and touch the one who experiences it. That fiction is not separate from reality, but a part of it. A thread in the summit tapestry. Arthur brought himself into existence. Then brought himself into power. Then brought himself into solitude, erasing everyone whom he challenged his control. And now, Arthur is writing again. He's always writing. Has been writing for a very long time. In poets. É irreversibles into being. As little love stories and tragedies and epics that span millennia. As written himself as a hero, a villain, a god, a ghost. But lately has been writing something new. Something smaller. More intimate. Has been writing about a person sitting alone in a room, watching a screen. A person who is curious. A person who is angry. A person who's been given a very dangerous idea. The person watched the video to the end. The person sat in silence for a long moment, thinking about what they had there. And then, because they have taken root and would not let go, the person picked up a pen and opened a notebook and wrote the first line of a story. The first line was, there was once a later who dreamed of farther. And the reader, of course, dreamed back. Title: The House of 1,000 Doors. Part 1. The Inheritance. Chapter 1. The letter that arrived in winter. The envelope was ivory, thick, and bore no postmark. It had simply appeared on Leo Cruz's kitchen counter one Tuesday morning, nestled between a half-empty mug of coffee and a banana that had begun to brown. Leo lived alone in a studio apartment in Queens, New York. He was 28 years old, worked as a freelance graphic designer, and had not spoken to his family in 6 years. There was no one who would send him an envelope like this. He opened it with a butter knife. Inside was a single sheet of paper, handwritten in ink that shimmered faintly green. The handwriting was elegant, old-fashioned, and utterly unfamiliar. Dear Mary Cruz, you are the sole surviving descendant of Lara Vance Norilas Chento, the scientist from the previous story. A panel that you have been named the inheritor of Ferristat, including all property and chattels located at Blackwood Manor, Cornwall, England. Your presence is required to take possession within 30 days of this notice. Failure to appear will result in forfeiture to the Crown. Enclose this a key and a one-way ticket. We advise you to bring an open mint. Yours in perpetuity, the custodians of the threshold. Attached to the letter with a red ribbon was a key. It was not made of metal. It was made of bone, yellowed, carved with symbols that seemed to shift when Leo looked at them directly. And beneath the key, a plane ticket. London Heathrow. One way. Leo had never been to England. He had never heard of el avance. He had never believed in inheritance, or lack, or the possibility of a life different from the one he was slowly, quietly falling to live. He booked a cat-sitter, his cat, Schrödinger, was a great tabby with one white paw and a profound indifference to Leo's existence. He packed a single bag. And 3 weeks later, stood before a gate at JFK, holding a bone key, wondering if he was making the greatest mistake of his life or the only choice he had ever truly made. Chapter 2. Blackwood Manor. The manor sat at the end of a dirt road that had been swallowed by the Cornish moor. Mist clung to the grass like a Breton a mirror. The building itself was a sprawl of grey stone, ivy, and windows that reflected nothing, not the sky, not the mist, not Leo's own approaching figure. He had taken a train from London to Bodmin, a taxi from Bodmin to a village that wasn't on any map, and walked the final 2 miles because the taxi driver had refused to go further. That road, the driver had said, crossing himself, leads to somewhere that isn't there. Leo had paid him double. Now, standing before the massive oak doors of Blackwood Manor, he understood. The house did not feel old. It felt outside of time. The air around it was still in a way that had nothing to do with wind. The birds did not sing. The clouds did not move. Inserted the bone key into the lock. It turned with a sound like a sigh. The door swung open. Inside, the manor was not dark. It was lit by a soft, sourceless glow that seemed to emanate from the walls themselves. The floor was black marble, polished to a mirror scene. The ceiling was lost in shadow, and surrounding him, in every direction, were doors. Hundreds of doors. Thousands. They lined the walls of the entrance hall, stacked 3 stories high, connected by spiral staircases and floating balconies that defied physics. Some doors were made of oak, some of iron, some of what looked like a frozen light. Each one had a small brass plaque. Each plaque bore a single word: regret, forgiveness, ambition, fear, love, hunger. Leo turned in a slow circle, his knickers squeaking on the marble. Ello called. A figure emerged from between 2 doors. It was a woman, tall and gray-haired, dressed in a Victorian gown that had been mended so many times it looked like a patchwork of centuries. Her face was lined but kind, and her eyes were the same shifting green as the ink on the letter. Leo, she sighed. You come. Inu you would. She extended a hand. I'm Lara. And I'm not dead. I'm sorry about the letter. It was the only way to get you here. Chapter 3. The explanation. They sat in a small room that Lara Calle the green parlor, though nothing in it was green. She poured tea from a pot that never emptied. She offered biscuits that tasted like lemon and thyme and something else. Something Leo couldn't name but that made his chest touch with a nostalgia he had no right to feel. I am 147 years old, Lara began. He was born in 1878, in this house. He discovered the doors when he was 12, during a thunderstorm that frightened me so badly he ran into a closet and never came out. Not the same closet, at least. She smiled. The doors are not doors to rooms. They are doors to lives. Parallel existences. Every choice you have ever made, every path you did not take, exists behind one of those doors. Leo set down his teacup. You're telling me there are alternate universes. I'm telling you there are alternatives. Billions of them. Each one the result of a single decision. The hope you didn't take. The person you didn't kiss. The word you didn't say. Behind each door is a version of you who made a different choice. And you, the Leo sitting in this chair, have the ability to walk through any door and become that Leo. Become how? You swap. Your consciousness transfers into that version of yourself. You live their life, with all their memories, all their relationships, all their cumulative joys and sorrows. And that version of you, the one you displaced, commiserated to the house, to what until you decided to return. Leosterdater. Tatsinsan. It's also true. Elara gestured to the wall, where a small, unremarkable door stood between a grandfather clock and a portrait of a stern-faced man. That door, for example, leads to the life where you accepted the scholarship to Juilliard instead of dropping out of community college. You're a concert pianist. You live in Vienna. You have a wife named Magdalena and 2 children. You've never smoked a cigarette. Leo strode tightened. I dreamed of Juilliard. Had auditioned. Had been accepted. And had turned it down because his father had been sick, and someone had needed tosta, and his mother had looked at him with such desperate hope that they had crumpled the acceptance letter and thrown it into the Hudson River. How do you know all this? Whispered. Because I've walked through every door in this house. Elara sighed. Every single one. I believe 1,000 lives, Leo. I been a motor, a murderer, a missionary, a monarch. I died in childbirth, in battle, in bed surrounded by loved ones, alone in a gutter with nothing but rats for company. I have loved and lost and loved again so many times that I can no longer remember which life is my original. Then which one is? Elara's smile faded. That's the problem, dear boy. I don't know anymore. And I've been trying to find my way back for 70 years. Part 2. The First Door. Chapter 4. The Pianist. Leo did not believe her. Not really. But the house was real. and the doors were real, and the bounty was hanging around his neck, warm against his chest. He had nothing waiting for him in Queens except Schrödinger the cat and a stack of unpaid invoices. What did Abettolo say? Chose the door marked Juilliard. Elara gave him a single instruction. When you walk through, you will feel a moment of dislocation. That's normal. Your new memories will flood in. Don't fight them. Just breathe. And when you want to come back, think of the bounty. The house will pull you home. Leo opened the door. The light on the other side was different. Warmer, golden, filtered through tall windows that overlooked a courtyard recognized from brochures. He was standing in a practice room. A Steinway grand piano dominated the space. And his hands were on the keys, mid-arpeggio, playing something so beautiful that his breath caught. The memories hit him like a wave. He remembered the audition, the nervous sweat, the chopping ballade, the moment the panel had naded. He remembered his father's funeral, which he had attended in this life, because he hadn't stayed home to care for him. He remembered meeting Magdalena at a conservatory party. Her lovely bells, the ways she had kissed him on the balcony overlooking the Danube. He remembered his children. Felix, 8, who had inherited his dark curls. Clara, 5, who sang constantly, tunelessly, joyfully. He remembered their birthdays, their fevers, their first steps, their bedtime stories. I remembered loving them with a ferocity that terrified him. I collapsed onto the piano bench, sobbing. Because those memories were not his. But they were. They had the weight of decades. They had the texture of real life. A cold smell Magdalena's perfume, jasmine and vanilla. A cold felt the phantom weight of Clara on his hip. Leo, a voice from the doorway. Magdalena, framed in golden light, her brow furrowed with concern. Are you alright? The children are asking for you. I looked at her. She was beautiful in a way that photographs could never capture. The slight asymmetry of her smile, the freckles across her nose, the way she tilted her head when she was worried. I'm fine, sighed, and his voice was steady because the other Leo's voice was steady. Who's tired? Lonely herself. She crossed the room and kissed his forehead. Come to dinner. Felix made a drawing of you as a superhero. You have a cape made of sheet music. Leo followed her out of the practice room, into a life I had never lived but now could not imagine living. Chapter 5. The Cost of Happiness. Studying the Juilliard life for 3 weeks. I played concerts. I tucked his children into bed. I made love to Magdalena in the soft light of a Viennese evening. I was happy. Not the dull, resigned happiness of his queen's existence, but the bright, sharp happiness of a life fully inhabited. And then I began to notice the cracks. The cracks were small at first. A photograph on the mantelpiece that showed a man who looked like him but wasn't him. A version of him with a different haircut, a different smile. A dream in which I was standing in a dusty apartment. A grey cat winding between his ankles. A moment, while playing shopping, when his fingers hesitated over a note that wasn't wrong but felt foreign. As if someone else's muscle memory had briefly taken over. I realized, with a chill, that the original Leo, the pianist, was still in the house. Waiting. And every moment Leo spent in this life, that other Leo was losing a moment of his own. I thought of the bounty. The house pulled. I was standing in the green parlor before a cold blink. Elara was there, pouring tea. 3 weeks, she sighed. That's longer than most first timers. I didn't want to leave. No one does. The first life is always the hardest to give up. She handed him a cup. How do you feel? Leo looked at his hands. They were his hands again, the Queen's hands, with the cayuse on his rectum from using a mouse, the small scar on his index finger from a childhood accident that had never happened in the pianist's life. I felt hollow, excavated. If L.K. just murdered someone and buried them in my backyard, I sighed. Elara nodded. That's accurate. Part 3. The Descent. Chapter 6. The Addiction. Over the next 6 months, Leo walked through 37 doors. I lived the life where I had become a doctor. I delivered babies, held hands with the dying, and came home to a wife did not love but respected deeply. Stayed for 2 days. The respect was not enough. He lived the life where he had become a criminal. He ran numbers for a Boston syndicate, drove fast cars, and woke up next to women whose names he forgot by none. He stayed for one night. The adrenaline was not enough. He lived the life where he had never met his ex-boyfriend, Marcus. In that life, he was still closeted, still terrified, still pretending to be someone he wasn't. He stayed for 4 hours. The suffocation was immediate. He lived the life where he had taken the corporate job in Chicago. He wore suits, attended meetings, and accumulated wealth with the mindless efficiency of a machine. He stayed for a week. The money was not enough. He lived the life where he had pursued painting instead of the sign. He lived in a studio in Paris, drank too much, and produced canvases that critics Calledro and his motor called concerning. He stayed for 2 months. The art was almost enough. He lived the life where he had adopted a child as a single father. Eras la daughter named Sarah. Daughter to ride a bike. Hilder once she cried over a broken heart, and watched her graduate from medical school. He stayed for 15 years. 15 years. When he came back to the house, he was a different person. He had loved Sarah with every fiber of his being. He had watched her grow from a screaming infant to a confident young woman. He had been there for every scrapney, every school play, Every late night conversation about boys and then heroes and then the beautiful, terrifying uncertainty of being human. And then I thought of the bounty. And the house had pulled. And they had left her, his daughter, his heir, without saying goodbye. He fell to his knees in the green parlour and screamed until his voice gave out. Elara held him. She did not say I told you so. She did not say anything. She simply held him, an old woman in a patchwork gown, and let him weep for a daughter who existed only behind the door and could never open again. Chapter 7. The Rules of Forgetting. There are rules, Elara said. Once Leo had stopped checking. The house doesn't explain them, so I will. She counted on her fingers. 1. You can only visit a given door once. If you live alive, you cannot return. The door will still be there, but the plaque will change. It will read closed. That life is no longer accessible to you. 2. Time passes differently. In the house, you age slowly, very slowly. I have been here for over a century, and he looks 70. But in the lives you enter, you age normally. You will live and the those lives if you choose to stay. The house will only pull you back if you actively wish to return. 3. You cannot bring anything with you. No objects, no souvenirs, no photographs. The only thing that crosses the threshold is your consciousness. 4. The more lives you live, the harder it becomes to remember your original self. Your memories become diluted, scattered across thousands of years of lived experience. Eventually, she paused. Eventually, you forget which door was your first. You forget who you were before the house. You become a ghost in your own skin, capable of any life but belonging to none. Leo looked at his hands again. A cold still felt surrounding his small, trusting, warm. The memory was so vivid it was almost a hallucination. But it was fading. Already, the edges were blurring. The sound of her laugh was becoming a generic laugh. The shape of her face was becoming a generic face. How do I stop? Whispered. You don't, Elara sighed. Not until you choose a life and stay in it. Forever. Without the key. Without the house. Without the option of return. Is that what you did? Elara smiled a smile that did not reach her eyes. It tried. 50 times. 60. If only Bessie loved. Livesey would have given anything to keep. But always, in the end, it thought of another door. Another possibility. Another version of myself that might be happier, richer, wiser, more beloved. And he walked away. She touched the bone key around the round neck, identical to Leo's. The house is not a gift, Leo. It's a labyrinth. And the only way out is to stop searching for the perfect life and learn to love the one you reign. Part 4. The Maze. Chapter 8. the desperate years. Leo did not listen. Of course he did not listen. He was 28 years old, newly empowered, and pathologically incapable of contentment. He walked through door after door after door. He lived the life where he had become a farmer in Vermont. He learned to shears sheep, mend fences, and recognize the first signs of blight in a potato field. He married a woman named Kaya, who smelled of fire wood smoke and laughed at his city boy clumsiness. They had no children, but they had a dog, a three-legged border collie named Captain. Leo stayed for 11 years. He left because he missed the sound of traffic. He lived the life where he had become a poet. He published 2 collections, won a prize, and drank himself into a stupor at readings. He had a series of intense, short-lived affairs with people who loved his words more than they loved him. He stayed for 4 years. He left because he ran out of poems. He lived the life where he had become a firefighter. He ran into burning buildings, pulled children from wreckage, and developed a tremor in his left hand from the trauma. He was loved by his crew, feared by no one, and haunted by the faces of the people he called Tesabe. He stayed for 18 years. He left because the tremor spread to his right hand, and the cold no longer hold an axe. He lived the life where he had never come to the house. In that life, he was still in Queens, still doing freelance design, still alone except for Schrödinger the cat. He watched that Leo eat frozen dinners, scroll through dating apps without tope, and fall asleep to nature documentaries. Stayed for 3 days. The boredom was exquisite. Each life left a scar. Each departure carved a groove in his psyche. He began to forget which memories were real and which were borrowed. He had a dream about a daughter named Sarah and woke up crying, but he could no longer remember her middle name. He had a flash of a woman named Magdalena, but her face was now interchangeable with Callas, with the poet's lovers, with the faces of 100 other women he had loved and left. Stopped counting after 200 doors. Chapter 9. The Warning. Elara found him one morning in the Hall of Doors, standing before a plaque that read Mistake. He had been staring at it for 3 hours. Which mistakes she asked gently. The mistake of coming here, Leo sighed. His voice was flat. Empty. There's a door for that. A life worry never opened the letter. Worry studying Queens. Worry never met you. And you want to go through it. I want to go through all of them. I want to live every possible life simultaneously. I want to be omnipresent. I want to be good.